Hey Weirdos, welcome back to The Weird Canadian. Today we had a special guest. His name is Nicky Billou, and he's called the world's greatest podcast guest. Why? Because he's been a guest on over 770 shows and always brings power, passion, and actionable tips to every appearance. Nicky actually reached out to me because he loved the show and the concept that we're doing. I really want to get into his niche of entrepreneurship, especially seeing as it lines up with me, ask him questions that I'm dying to know just to build my business. So yes, here we go. So Nicky, why don't you take it away?
Sure. I'm originally an immigrant from the Middle East. I'm a Christian from Iran. When I was 11 years old, the Islamic Revolution took place in Iran. And my mom and dad, they could see there was gun battles in the streets. This wasn't going to be a place to raise a Christian family. So they made a decision to get me and my two brothers out of Iran and moved us to Greece initially. And after 2 years in Greece, to Toronto in Canada, where I now live. Now, at the time I was a kid, I didn't want to leave my home or my friends. But looking back now, I could see what an unbelievable sacrifice mom and dad made. They left behind everything and everyone they knew to give my two brothers and I a chance at a better life. Over time, I just became this champion for freedom. I believe inside every human breast beats the living heart of freedom. Every man, every woman on this planet yearns to breathe free. And if you're an entrepreneur, and I'm an entrepreneur, the number one thing that you need in order to be successful as an entrepreneur is to live in a free society, because without freedom, you don't have free expression and the ability to choose the path you want to go down. And without that, you don't have free enterprise. Without free enterprise, you're not an entrepreneur. You're just somebody who has to kiss a tyrant's boot in order to get them to throw you a few crumbs. So I'm grateful to live in a free society. I'm grateful to support other entrepreneurs and to help spread the cause of freedom globally with what I do in a little way.
Entrepreneurship has definitely opened my eyes in terms of what's available to me. Like, I never thought this would ever be my path. Grew up actually doing the government path, had the whole thing set out for me, and now I'm like without a paddle and just trying it out and being the happiest I've ever been. So going into entrepreneurship, how is entrepreneurship different in Canada versus the US?
Well, Canadians are a lot more conservative, as you know, right? Americans believe in the American dream and they go for it. Over here, we got a little bit more of a conservative socialist almost mentality. But there's a lot of Canadians that want to create their entrepreneurial dreams and they go after them. It's just, as I said, they deal with it in a bit of a more conservative, let me get all my ducks in a row fashion than an American would, who's like, okay, let's go, let's roll, let's make it happen right away. I have a lot more American clients than Canadian clients for that reason.
I definitely started planning it, and then somebody just told me, just go for it. And I took that advice, and now I'm here. So I definitely am for the just go for it moment. In terms of how to start, so a lot of people, like, my situation is completely different. I just kind of upended my life, and I know most people can't do that. If somebody had an established life and wanted to start out in entrepreneurship in Canada, how would they start?
My advice would be to start it as a side hustle until you get it going to the point where you can leave behind your established source of income. Because if you don't, you could put yourself in a bit of a hole. If you're going to just quit your job and start a business and not want to go the side hustle route, that's valid. But I want you to have at least 6 months worth of income put aside to give you a bit of runway to get things going.
I did have some set aside, but I started putting it into the business, and now it's like, oh, it's not as far as it goes. In terms of going out and actually reaching out to people, how does one do that? Like, so my biggest hurdle right now is I see media and online content creation as the be all end all. Like, this is what you want for the future. IP is pretty much going to be the only thing left when AI comes out and everything's said and done. How would you frame that as, like, I want to promote you, but I want to just use my I want to monetize my content? Like, how would you go about that as a business venture?
Well, I have a different point of view than that, and I'm going to be blunt. I think there's far too many people who get into business that don't want to face the fact that business is about people, period. It ain't about your IP. It ain't about making money. It ain't about any of the other bullshit that people talk about. It's about people. Business is where you solve problems for people. And when you solve those problems for people, you get to make what's called a profit. And I'm just going to show you something if I can. The purpose of any business is problem solving. Imagine you're getting into business. The first thing your business has to do is it has to solve a problem, what I call an acute problem, something that people really, really want to have solved. And it's got to solve it for people, because at the end of the day, the only thing that's worthy of solving problems for is for people who care about it. And when you do all that, you make a profit. Now, where all those intersect, that's the purpose of business. You solve acute problems for amazing people and you make an awesome profit. When you use your business and you think about your business as a vehicle to solve problems for people, that's when you earn the right to make a profit. If you start to accept that, then you need to understand that a big part of your business, especially in the early days, is not about creating content and creating IP. No, it's about talking to humans. And AI is wonderful, but so far, AI humanoid robots are not that great at talking to people and understanding what the nuances are of having a conversation and digging into a person's feelings and digging into what really is bothering them. So if you're starting a business, let's just imagine that your business was about helping people grow their business. Let's just say that was your business. First thing you got to do is find out, well, who are going to be my clients? Well, people who have businesses, who are interested in growing them because they're not growing as fast as they want them to. Okay, great. And then you want to understand why they're not growing that fast. You need to get curious and discover what the key reasons are that this problem exists. And then you need to come up with real solutions that actually work, that actually solve the problem. And when you're first starting out, no better way to do that than to talk to some human beings. Now, I am a big user of AI. I'm a big fan of ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, and a whole host of other AI platforms that are out there. But if you want to go over there and say, you know what, tell me what the major problems are, that's a good start. But you better go talk to some humans to verify if good old ChatGPT was right. Because maybe, just maybe, it missed a nuance or two there. I recommend you have a conversation with a minimum 20 people. 20 people that have the sorts of problems that you might be interested in helping. Through that process, you got to then offer to solve those problems. Now, you might, the first couple of times, offer to do it for free. You might offer to do it at a discount, at a deep discount. You may offer to do it at full price. But if you're starting a business and that's not where you're starting, you will never, ever be successful. Let me repeat that. You will never, ever be successful. You'll be one of these entrepreneurs who goes around talking to everybody about what a great thing they're doing, and you're always on AI and you're always on your cell phone, but you never talk to a human being to save your life, never mind theirs. And that's your duty as an entrepreneur, is to save someone's life. Maybe not literally, but that problem could be causing such a deep amount of pain for them that taking it away would literally be a lifesaver.
Yeah, and that's kind of the focus of my business is building up the entrepreneur aspect of everything. My biggest struggle when I started out was figuring out how to go from idea to plan and then implementing that. So basically, I'm building content around my journey of starting this all out, talking to experts like you, trying to figure it out as I go. The funny part is I actually have so many ideas for my community. Rural Canada is going to boom in terms of people, businesses, because everybody wants the nature, they want the connection. And right now, rural towns have no infrastructure, they have no knowledge of AI, they have no knowledge of internet. Half the businesses out here don't even have websites. It's all operated off of Facebook. Plenty of opportunity out here. I hope to bring out a bunch of people, get things building. I'm actually working on an app for my local auto shop to help them out, just getting appointments scheduled. Do you agree with me that rural Canada is a good place for people to start? If they have an idea that is maybe even existing right now, but they want to hit a smaller market and try and build it up there, is that a good idea for people?
I think that's a fantastic idea. A lot of people, starting with the lockdowns and the scamdemic, a lot of people started to leave the bigger cities and move into a more rural setting because A, cost of living is lower, B, it's a lot more peaceful, C, you don't have these crazy woke tards in charge of most of these small governments. They're regular people. They're not particularly political, and they're not really interested in shoving down their point of view down your throat so much. They just want everybody to have a nice, peaceful life, and they want their community to be prosperous and continue to be safe. So I say it's a really great space for you to go to. And secondly, because of that, because there's more money moving into some of these communities, some more opportunity for you if you're an entrepreneur.
It definitely is. I'm so surprised at how many people just get by with just talking to people and regular cell phones. I'm I haven't lived like this since the 2000s. I don't know what this is anymore, but I go out and talk to people. They are the most gracious, welcoming people. They're trying to help you in any way, shape, or form. And I think that's what Canada needs. We need to start helping each other in any way, shape, and form.
Yeah.
In terms of your life, when did you know you made it? Or like, because right now I'm running with all of what I'm doing, and I know, like, I have this giant feeling of like I'm doing the right thing, but I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm at that point. When do you feel that you've made it and you got past that point of I know it's coming, but I don't know when? If that makes any sense? Or am I just an oddball?
Listen, man, anybody who's an entrepreneur, myself, yourself, is a bit of an oddball, a bit of a misfit, a bit of a visionary, right? There's a beautiful ad that Steve Jobs made when he came back to Apple back in 1997, 98 called Think Different. And it starts off with, here's to the misfits, the visionaries, the crazy ones, the round pegs and the square holes. So I take that as a badge of honor. You know, when have you made it? I don't know. At some level, I don't think you ever make it, right? It's a continuous journey. For me, I'm looking for growth. I'm not satisfied. I want more clients. I want to make more money. I want to help more people. All of that's very important to me. And I want to find ways to make money faster. I want to find ways to scale bigger. You know, stay hungry, man. Stay hungry is the thing that every entrepreneur needs to do. All the entrepreneurs that I'm working with right now, you know, it's interesting. The last two folks I signed up were Canadians, and they're really hungry. Like there was a woman out of Alberta and a man here in Ontario, kind of near Whitby. She runs a land development / property management company and some coaching company. He runs a painting company. And they're hungry, man, hungry. Buddy comes in. I have this program, 12-week sales accountability program. It's called 90K in 90 days. And we say, we're going to help you make an extra $90,000 in revenue in the next 90 days, over and above whatever you had coming in, right? Buddy, in less than 2 weeks, signs $49,650. Less than 2 weeks. He's going to blow by 90K. And he told me, listen, 90K sounds great, but I really want to do 200. I'm telling you, he's going to blow by 200. I think he's going to blow by 300. This is a beautiful thing. And this woman, you know, she wants to sign up some people to invest in a land development project. She got somebody who's like seriously interested in giving her a 7-figure chunk of money for this project. These are hungry people. If you ask either one of them, have I made it? They haven't made it. They're just getting started, man. Just getting started.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, like I just keep on wanting to go, and it's not even like I'm working, I'm just having fun. Like I'm on my computer basically all the time trying to figure out, research, do things, look up stuff, and now I'm enjoying it instead of dreading it as I was in my dev career. To go into that, so I do have an idea for a product, and I've been trying to slowly figure out how to build it up, but it's I want to build a Kickstarter but for business. So like actually spread out equity across regular individuals so that they can have a piece of pie like Coca-Cola did back in the early 30s or 40s. I think that would really help a lot of businesses get off the ground, because I think one of my main problems is every time you're looking for funding or support, it's like, here's a loan, or here's a nonprofit, and it's like, okay, government money, what's the tie? Like, what's the caveat? Would that be a good idea for somebody to build?
You know, brother, I can't answer that for you right now. I mean, conceptually, sure, but there's a lot of questions you need to ask yourself, right? Is there a demand for it? Are there people that are screaming for this and saying, I don't like the current sources of capital funding out there? Maybe, you know, you ought to give it a shot. For me, there's a lot of capital sources that are out there. Like there's more capital sources coming out all the time. Maybe this will be one of them that people will be interested in. But best thing you can do right now, if you're new to business, is pick one thing and go hard in that one thing, you know, until you get a certain level of success. And I don't know what that level of success is for you. Most of my clients, the first thing they want to do when they first start in their business is they want to have 100K a year. 100K a year. Once they have 100K a year, they're like thinking, okay, I want to have a 200K a year, $250,000 a year. So once they have a 200K, $250,000 a year, they're like, okay, I want to have a $500,000 a year. Once they have a $500,000 a year, then they're thinking to themselves, I want to have a $1 million a year. And what does all that look like? What does it take to get there? And these are questions that are individual, right? Like I can't say for everybody, your idea is good, your idea is bad. What the hell do I know? I haven't researched your field. I'm not the right person to say, yeah, this is right, this is wrong. Who am I to shit all over your dreams? If your dreams are your dreams, you should go for it. You know, a good idea is an idea that feels right inside your heart and your soul to you. That is a good idea. What does someone else thinks about it, honestly, is irrelevant.
That's fair. Well, I hope to build it one day. even if I have to take a few years to do it. But yeah, this is a great talk. I'll just give you the last 5 minutes to plug anything, or if you want to bring up anything that you'd like to add.
Look, being an entrepreneur is a wonderful thing. If you're an entrepreneur right now, I recommend that you listen to shows like this, you buy books, go out and join peer groups, you hire coaches. Most important thing you can do as an entrepreneur is invest in yourself. You are the most important asset in your business, okay? And businesses invest in assets all the time. And as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, as someone who's relatively new to business, the number one target, I should say, for your investment, attention, and dollars should be you. You need to become a better businessman. You need to become a better salesman. You need to become a better manager. You need to become a better leader. All of this is going to take investment. So behind me is part of my library, books. This is not a virtual background. You should read books that are interesting to you. You should read books that have knowledge about the skill sets you need. So I'm going to recommend you study psychology for yourself, to understand your own psychology. You study the psychology of people. There's a great book called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. Definitely want to read that book. It's all about how to be more effective at persuasion. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to persuade other people to buy into your dreams, your visions, be they customers, be they employees, be they investors. So that's the sort of thing you ought to do. And you should then definitely invest in conferences, programs. I attend a couple conferences a year, sometimes the same ones, sometimes I switch it up. This year, I'm going to the Vault conference with Patrick Bet-David. I went to it last year. It was good. I'm going to go again. I'm also going to the Transformational Leadership Council, Jack Canfield's mastermind. I've actually been invited to be a speaker. So I'll be attending that mastermind, but I'll also be a speaker at that mastermind. So that's really supercalifragilistic for me. I run some events and conferences. I run a thought leader mastermind. It's an exclusive high-end thing, but if you want to create your own authority positioning as a thought leader, create a powerful personal brand, that's one you may want to consider. And then you want to hire coaches. I mean, if you're like an entrepreneur right now and sales is not something you're good at, or sales is something you're scared of, or you have a bullshit opinion about sales, like, oh, no, I don't want to be one of those pushy salespeople, we need to help you reframe that, because unless you reframe that, you'll never be successful. Ever. I've got a very powerful program called 90K in 90 days. And if you want to quick start your business by adding an extra $90,000 cash injection to the next 90 days, and you're willing to have your butt kicked, because I will get you out of your comfort zone like you've never been out of your comfort zone, this is a good thing for you to consider. And right now, maybe you just want to talk to somebody. Get on my calendar and say, I heard you on the Weird Canadian Show. Can we have a talk? And the link to book that talk, it's a free call, is eCircleacademy.com/appointment. And honestly, if your business isn't where you want it to be, if your sales aren't where you need them to be, I really recommend you have a conversation with me and you invest in some of these books and some of these courses that I just told you about.
Great information. I'll make sure to link everything in my bio or in the comment section below for everybody. And thank you very much for coming on.
Brother, thanks for having me on the show, man. It's great to have you.
That was an amazing talk. Learned a lot of things that I probably should have known before I started all this. But that's why I'm here. I'm failing the way so that you can see what I do and do it the opposite. Anyways, if you like this video, I'm sure we're gonna have more. Please check out some of these videos here. Comment, like, and subscribe, of course, because it helps the channel. And yeah, see you later. Stay weird.